no sense going to them. That I know they don't want him. Don't second guess and kill yourself before you get out there with the gospel. Elite status, he's on his knees, he's trusted in the Jewish faith, and that has not helped him because of the way it had denigrated him. He's the upper class, and now he needs Jesus. And nobody else can do what Jesus can do. And he's watched it from a distance. He's watched Jesus all over Capernaum doing miracles. He has not only an elite status, now he's on his face before Jesus Christ. He's on his knees. He's got this problem, and this emergency situation, dying before his very eyes. He lays aside all the animosity to Christ, and now he needs compassion. Lord Jesus, other the passages say Jesus went with him. Jesus was available. So he said, okay, got to go to your house. She's laying in your bed. We don't know what part of Capernaum and that whole area was, whether it was a mile away or what it is. It was someone near, and they started on their way. And the throng is all over him. But then there's a divine interruption. As he went, the multitude thronged to him. Now, a woman having a flow of blood for 12 years had spent all her livelihood on physicians and could not be healed by any. Little girl, she's 12 years old, for 12 years in bed, running around the house. Daddy, Daddy, or in the Hebrew language, Abba, 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 Abba. And he had all, and Grandpa. In the Greek language, Yaya. Yaya. Well, that's the old matriarchal Greek with the big rings on her. Yaya, Yaya, Yaya. Abba, Abba, Abba. For 12 years. He had this beautiful relationship with this little girl, and now she's in big trouble. But for those last 12 years, there's been a woman in that area that was in terrible suffering for 12 years straight. And she was a mess. And she's coming up to Jesus, and she's coming upon him. And there's going to be an interruption. And Jesus loved interruptions. And God, guess what? He's going to interrupt your life somewhere, somehow. You're going to say, Lord, I waited for this, and you did this. Lord, I was waiting for this, and my car broke down, and this happened. Interruptions happen all the time. And if you're an impatient person, you start to say, what's going on? I hate this. I couldn't do that. I was climbing a mountain this past week. We climbed 2 mountains. I thought I was with Don Teeter. Don Teeter used to take me up to the Catskills. This week we did 12-hour hike. I'm working on the hundreds. I did the 35 high peaks of the Catskills last, so I could do it before I was 65, get my 35 badge. Now I'm working on the 65 low peaks, but they don't seem to be any less hard. I kept falling. This mountain. Interrupted by 10 falls on my face in the ice on a bushwhack mountain called Platte Hill. You don't need to know all about that. It was an interruption at times. But she's got a sad state. She's chronically sick. Hemorrhaging. These hemorrhages from her uterus wouldn't stop. Suffering, weakened by the blood flow that kept leaving her, and any refreshment that she could have had to her body by fresh blood was coming out. We don't know totally all about it, but she's uncomfortable and unclean and constantly shunned. She's chronically sick and she's constantly shunned. If a woman has a discharge of blood, the Bible says, and it's not her regular discharge of blood, it says she will be unclean. I mean, she could not go to touch people, be around people, talk about coronavirus. She was untouchable. People would say, hey, stop. You're not going to make me unclean. You don't touch me. You stay right over there. We know who you are. We know what your reputation is. For 12 years you've had this. Stay away from me. She knew what it was to be marginalized. And whenever you come into a group, the spotlight was on you to see how far away you stay from them. And I'm thinking, Lord, do you know who she is? Well, she was cordoned off spiritually, too. She wasn't allowed in that synagogue where this man is on his knees begging for his child she could not go in that synagogue. She could not go in the caravans going down to Passover feast at the temple or the Feast of the Tabernacles. She was cordoned off. She couldn't listen to the holy word of God being spoken, because that's what they did in synagogue. Jesus read probably many times from that synagogue the word of God. Couldn't. Chronically sick, constantly shunned, cordoned off, and cash struck. Now you tell me how many more things can go wrong in your life with that. Cash struck is if she took all of her money and gave it to doctors to try to get well, to try to stop this bleeding, this hemorrhaging, this terrible fatigue that I almost feel like I'm dead. And it was a weird thing physicians did down there. Luke, who's a doctor, went a little easier on the doctors in this passage. Professional courtesy, maybe, I don't know. Mark and Matthew are a little harder. They said, these physicians out there said, one was you take an ostrich egg and you bake it down and you make it into powder and you put it into a bag around, a textile bag around your neck, and you just wear that around, and that will cure you. One was you drink this mixture of rubber and alum and crocus plants and you put it in a mixture and you drink it. Another was you had some other kind of concoctions that you drank, and it went on and on and on. Nothing helped. She didn't have any money. She was just poor. So you're poor and you have nothing but disease to pass around. They didn't know what the uncleanness was. Lepers had things like that, so she was in trouble. Lord Jesus, you gravitate to these folks. She's coming right at you. You don't even know it. But she came from behind and touched the border of his garment. So she's looking, and the crowds are like, they're pressing in on Jesus. I mean, it's a mob. It's a subway in New York at 5 o'clock. And he's walking down, and they're all wanting a piece of him. And she's just watching. The cordoned off one is watching. She's thinking, I think if I just touch the hem of his garment while he goes by, he's the Son of God. He can do that. I'm going to do this. And so the tassels were on the four corners of the outer toga usually, and they were blue. They had white and blue, and you see them today with the Orthodox. And so she's waiting her turn. I only got one shot at this. And she goes down and grabs it. And in the Greek language, it's in the middle voice, which means it's something more intense for me. I think she grabbed it, held it from home. He might have even heard the jerk, I don't know. But she's got it. She said, I'm going to get well. I know nobody wants me around, but I'm going to sneak in and sneak out. I won't say anything, you don't need to talk about it. And she did it. She said, something different. Something just happened to me. I've got my strength back. My blood flow has been put together. All of the misery, I'm back together. Can you imagine what that would feel like after 12 years of being cordoned off? Feel like you were dead already because your body has lost all of its blood nutrients, and Jesus Christ heals you. The compassionate one heals you with his authority and his dynamite, the power of Christ. So he says, who are you going to serve? I say, Jesus. I'll serve the government. I'll obey the government. But the mission doesn't take any government money, because we know we have somebody much more powerful to help us than just government money. Oh, isn't that great? She's just had a miracle on her life. Jesus is still doing it. He's still doing powerful things in the life of people. Spectacular salvations happened. She had faith in Jesus Christ. If I only touch his garment, I shall be made well. That's what Matthew says in his 9th chapter. Completely healed, publicly. But now Jesus is going to do something a little different. Her concept is, I'm going to just grab, pull, and run. I mean, I know my place in this society. You shut your mouth, you sit over there, you're lucky we don't kill you. You're cordoned off from us. We don't want you to touch any of us. You just remain in your seclusion. Even with this virus, our Savior is still the dunamis. He's still the power. The thing that's out there. They say, what are you going to do at the mission? Well, we don't have an active case. I don't know if we're going to have them. I'm going to love people. They're coming first, and we're going to do what we can. We're going to be careful. We're going to be wise. But we have a Savior who is the powerhouse. So this daughter of his now, Jesus said, who touched me? Of course, Peter said, Master, multitudes are thronging around you, touching you. He said, who touched me? Well, excuse me, Peter. He meant something that, Peter was always sometimes on a different, like, you ever get on a little different wavelength than Jesus or God is? God says, well, excuse me, come back, I got something to teach you. Oh, no, I got this all. No, sit down, I got to tell. Who touched me didn't mean that people aren't bumping and, rubbing against me. I know that, Peter. Excuse me. I'm not stupid. The fact of the matter is something happened. It's the touch of faith. There's two different touches going on here. People, they're touching them, but then there's the touch of faith, and she had the touch of faith. And Jesus knew it. He's out of godly ages. He knows you come by faith, and when you just come to touch out of curiosity, she came to touch the Master, and she touched him. And Jesus is saying, who did it? Who is this faith toucher? Peter, it's the touch of faith I'm talking about. He said, somebody touched me, for I perceive power going out of me. He said, power is going out. Well, what does that mean? It means when God works and gives you whatever, if he saves you, if he heals you, if he blesses you, if he touches you for joy, power goes from him to you. We have a God of power. And when it goes from him, he knows it. Thinking, Lord, I'm so glad you have power, because so many times I am powerless. When we were weak and powerless, the scripture says Christ, Jesus, saved us. This woman was powerless. And now she's touched him by faith. He said, faith power went out of me to this woman. And praise the Lord for that. Well, now she's on the spot. The lady that's always for 12 years been hidden and invisible now stands before Jesus Christ, the King of Glory. Quite a graduation. She came trembling, falling down before him, just like Jairus was. But he had a 12-year-old little girl that was 12 years blessing. She's had a 12-year curse. And now she's there and she's in front of him on the feet. So now she declared to him, and everybody heard it, in the presence of all the people, the reason she had touched him and how she had been healed immediately. She had a testimony. Because the Bible says that we shall believe in our hearts that he is able to save us, but we will confess with our mouths. And there was a time for believing in the heart, and there's a time for confessing. And we got to do both, believer. If you're in this room today, you've not come to touch the Master and say, save my soul. You're the only one that can. I encourage you not to leave this room until you say to Jesus, save me. I'm a sinner, and I can only be forgiven by you. And I can only become a child of God because you make me one by my faith in you. And I will put my faith in you. As little as it is, just like she did. If all the people saw her say, and I think he had another motive for this. I think the motive was, I want you to know that she's healed so you can let her back in, guys. Let her back in the synagogue, let her back in your party, let her back in your home. I've done it. And a lot of people have said, hey, she's clean. He gave her a good clean bill of health, just like a priest would have done. Then he says to her, daughter, be of good cheer. Your faith has made you well. Or if my mother's name was Sotira, this is built off of that. Your faith has sozoed you. It has saved you. He's saved in every way you can be saved. Lord Jesus, you are something else. On a rescue mission with Jesus Christ. He said, daughter. The only time in the New Testament that Jesus Christ calls anybody daughter. It can be sweet little lady, girl, whatever, but it can be daughter. And he said, you are now a daughter of the kingdom. You're in the family. Lord Jesus, hallelujah. And remember the day when you came to faith in Christ and you said, you're a child of the Lord, for many